Hello, everybody, and welcome to Speed Gaming. We've got the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past Randomizer spoiler tournament for you all today. This is zelgadissan versus ChristosOwen. I believe this is the last of the Swiss matches before we go into brackets. Good morning, everybody. Joining me is Cynic. How we doing?
Great. Yes, you are right. This is the final match of the Swiss. Zelgadissan, if Zelgadissan wins this match today, they're 5-2 and they are in. Guaranteed. If ChristosOwen wins, Chris won't actually make it into the top 8, but instead will basically prevent a race-off between Faraimi and Gerdo. Whereas if Zelga wins, that's going to create a race-off situation. Stakes here. Like, Zelga has everything to win. And Christos basically is in a situation just to prevent Zelga from making his way into the bracket. It's kind of an interesting situation to be in.
Right.
Yeah.
So both runners heading straight to Saraswala's closet to get the bow. Well, ChristosOwen goes ahead and picks up 2 heart pieces as well.
Yeah, so kind of behind the scenes a little bit here. This is actually the 3rd time this match has been scheduled.
Oh no.
On Sunday, Chris had some internet problems. Been a thing that's been plaguing him for a bit. So, we wanted to make sure this match got done just because of the playoff implications. So we decided just to let them go a little bit beyond the deadline. In fact, actually, I don't think they even exceeded the deadline. This is actually before the deadline.
Yeah, deadline's tonight, I believe. So,
Yeah.
plenty of time.
Exactly. What is? Yeah, I mean, grab the bow. I'm guessing. Already the world's fastest Eastern Palace clear.
Or just getting the boots. And the glove in Sanctuary.
Feels boots, man.
Alright, looks like both runners headed to Cat Cooper Village now.
Yeah, it must not have locked anything really, at least right now. They didn't go for bonk rocks. They probably just wanted boots.
Yeah.
And Chris going for the money in there.
Yeah, interesting. zelgadissan went into blind set to get the blue mail. ChristosOwen skipped that.
Oh, Chris, he's not afraid of playing this game without mail armor. In fact, I think if he had it his way, he'd just delete it from the game. But
So already... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So ChristosOwen is already pulling a little bit ahead just for skipping some of the safety checks. But we'll see how it plays out as we go along.
Yeah, I'm curious on this because that can be quite the. All right, well, sword. Bonkeronis. Alright, well, Mini Moldorm Cave doesn't have anything. Yeah. I bet you Zora has something.
Zelgadissan picks up the fighter sword. ChristosOwen goes to the Ice Rod Cave. Zelda right behind him.
Samir and gone.
And ChristosOwen going to Hyrule Castle.
Alright. Going for that armor. Okay. And
Meanwhile,
Zelda,
yeah.
setting up the water walk there. Rip water walk.
The flippers messed it up. But interesting, Zelda decided to go get the Zora check now, while ChristosOwen is putting it off, and is heading up Death Mountain.
I mean, this could just be something important in a later game. Yeah, so he's gonna have to grab that at some point, but that's something he might be able to put off a little bit longer. Yeah, like, you're not gonna really want that cane until you're going into Ice Palace, or definitely if you're gonna go into Turtle Rock, because it's...
Right.
I could tell you, Chris does not know how to hover. Nor would you want to hover all that. Yeah. So now, Zelga's on red mail.
No more need for heart containers at all.
I wish that was the case with red mail. I'll tell you though, 4 hearts on red. Now, it's pretty nice, but you can still get trapped, get hit by environmental hazards and stuff.
Right.
All right, Chris. Chris is like thinking for a second. All right.
Did we see Christos do the escape sequence? I don't think we did. I think he just did Uncle and left.
Yeah. There's something here. So, for those just joining us, this is a spoiler log race. Our runners had 15 minutes to study the spoiler log, get prepared, and now they are executing on it. We have Zelgadissan. Zelgadissan, if Zelda wins, is going to get a spot in the top 8 and is going to force a race off between Brimy and Gerdo before we're able to actually set our top 8. If ChristosOwen wins, he won't actually make it into the top 8, but will deny Zelgadissan a spot and prevent a race off. So he has a lot of power, just indirectly right now. So if he wants to create more work for me and more content for you guys,
ChristosOwen taking on Speedy Moldorm, and succeeds, while Zelgadissan picked up the mushroom in Zelda Cell.
Wonder what's it. Okay, let's see what's at potion shop. So ChristosOwen, he's been kind of he's been a person in our community for a very long time. In fact, he's on the development team for the randomizer. He pretty much wrote the logic that you and I take advantage of right now. Like he was the one that figured out, okay, where can you put all the keys in pod? Where can they be? How do you lay that out? This is the guy that did that. So I will say right now that Chris has a very familiar understanding of how this randomizer works.
Right.
And very much knows how to use everything. And Zelgadissan is just really great at this game as well. Placed pretty well in the spoiler tournament last year. I think it was, I want to say, made it to the top 4 or 8. I'd have to look. I don't remember off the top of my head. That was a while ago. But they're both very competent runners.
Indeed. ChristosOwen is now in Desert Palace, while Zelgadissan is clearing out Tower of Hera. And drops.
No biggie.
There's the hook shot on Desert Ledge.
Nice. And it's gonna, finish up Desert while you're here. You got everything you need. So kind of like some backstory, right? So before the randomizer, so the randomizer came out in 2016, right? But before that, people were actually doing something very similar to randomizer without actually randomizing the game, and that was called a puzzle race. And
oh yeah,
ChristosOwen was kind of like one of the grandfathers of puzzle races. How it would work is that somebody would basically come up with a way of beating the game under very certain, very arbitrary set of conditions. Like, for example, you're only allowed to use every Y item only once.
Oh, wow.
Something like that, right? This is a very basic example. But the idea being that the runner has to come up with like a creative way to use the glitches that are allowed to beat the game under those conditions, under those constraints. And that's kind of what they had to do before the randomizer became a thing. Clearly, the problem with that is somebody has to go in and make those puzzles. That's just not something that you just do.
Right.
Like, somebody has to create them. I know Chris made several puzzles that got released on SRL back in the day. These would have been back in like 2012.
Zelgadissan picks up the Bombos in Spectacle Rock Cave. Meanwhile, ChristosOwen has completed Desert Palace and is now going up to Zora, it looks like.
Yeah, they're gonna go for that Samaria now. So, kind of the difference here between our runners so far, just to kind of recap, is Chris decided to skip the heart container and mail upgrade at Blind's hideout. Didn't even go down there.
Right.
along with probably putting a little bit better execution in, I would say. Not too much. I think that's kind of where we're sitting at right now.
Plus, zelgadissan did the escape of Hyrule Castle to get the mushroom.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know what's their potion shop. We'll have to go see, I suppose. Maybe Zelda grabbed it for a fake powder. Well, all right. So Chris is going back to. We still don't have Dark World access.
Right. Don't have the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, 15. So going 15 minutes into a race without like any type of tangible Dark World access is kind of unusual. Like, there must be quite the chain or stuff that you're gonna have to get in order to get. Yeah, this is really unusual, actually.
Yeah, I looked at the spoiler log. I know what the chain is and the logic, and I'm interested to see what they're doing to get around it. Zelgadissan heading over to the east side of Death Mountain. Apparently, he grabbed the hookshot and bailed out of Desert Palace. We'll make a return visit.
They're Kate. Alright, we found our Moon Pearl as well. Is Zelda gonna go for Aga? Are you churning? Yeah,
Yep.
churning. Yeah, so that was quite the sequence to get that hook shot, which was necessary to get Moon Pearl.
Right? You had to get the Book of Medora out of Tower of Hera to get into Desert Palace to get to the hook shot, to go back up Death Mountain to Paradox Cave to get the cape and the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, there's no bypassing any of that. You just had to go do it. So right now, Zelda is a little, I would say a little ahead right now.
Well, there's still the Desert Palace play he hasn't done yet. He hasn't completed Desert Palace.
Yes. That's true. Alright, Chris realizing that's not the way. There we go. Alright, so right now Zelda is working their way through Tower of Hera. Chris is about ready to enter. Has like a one dungeon lead over Zelda. Just because he didn't have to went and finish Desert.
Right. Most likely he's going to do that when he goes to Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except Meyer's a pendant.
Yeah, I mean, there's no good time to wrap that in.
Yeah.
probably why. I mean, Chris is an NMG runner, so he kind of knows his NMG land mode pretty well. So he probably didn't feel too bad about just going in and doing it since he was in the area. Though it's going to be certainly faster for Zelda later when they come back with like Fire Rod or Silver Arrows or some very powerful weapon that'll really speed up that fight.
Right. We've got guesses in chat for how many blue balls. So far, it's 0.
Still 0.
Zelgadissan slashing his sword with the music.
Oh baby, is this gonna be the 0?
Wow.
Nice. All right. I mean, that's. I guess that's a consolation being for having Aga forced on you at least. Yeah. Look at all those non-believers in chat. And now we are going to pod, hammerless pod. This is probably where our hammer's at. Or something that leads to our hammer.
Right. ChristosOwen beginning his Aga 1 fight.
Alright, and... yeah, Chris is going to be pretty pleased to see this 0 blue ball Ganon, or Aga as well. Alright, and down goes Aga 1.
And the jump didn't work, like it sometimes likes to not do. And there's the hammer.
Hammer and pod. I mean, it's not the worst. I mean, ice hammer is worse, but we'll take a pod hammer. I don't think we're done though.
Oh, we're gonna get a hammer yump.
Yeah, that looks good.
Nice.
Alright. So we have a sword upgrade. That'll be worth getting. Yeah, Chris will probably go for that sword.
Okay.
Dude, Samaria bounce strats are like the best. Just punt the thing over to the switch. That's a very swag strat, by the way. There's no need to do that.
Christos grabbed his hammer. Gonna see if he makes the pit stop for the Master Sword right here. And yes, he does. Gonna get a hammer jump as well. He gets it easy. I need to learn how to do that. Zelgadissan making his way to Hemelsar King. Zelgadissan using hammer strats on Hemelsar's forehead. Takes him down, no sweat. And that is Zelgadissan's second crystal. ChristosOwen on his way to Hemelsar King, and we'll see what Zelda heads off to next.
Alright, so Christos is also going to hammer out his differences with Hemelsar King. It's like, come on, it's the dumbest pun I know.
Zelda uses fake powder to get the magic back to give him the mitts.
Wow, for them to do it that way, the powder must be in a pretty terrible place. Now I'm curious because, like,
Well, do you want me to tell you where the powder is?
Sure, I'll take it because I don't think both of our runners are going for it now.
Yeah, because it's in the Harmless Hellway of Pod. Like, all they had to do was get an extra key. So I'm a little confused on that myself. Why they chose to do escape rather than just get an extra key in Pod.
Especially for Chris that had to backtrack for it.
And they both did it too.
Like, yeah, the only thing I could think of is, yeah, what about Potion Shop? Alright, I'm gonna break my typical rule here, and I'm just gonna take a peeks.
Kane was on Zora. Zelgadissan's in the chat saying they were trying to break Aga.
Oh.
So maybe forgot the hammer?
Oh, they were trying to sequence break Aghanim, but yeah, so they were trying to sequence break Aghanim, but they needed Hammer to do it.
Right.
Because like if they could have, because then they could have completely avoided Aga 1 if it wasn't for the hammer placement.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so you only have 15 minutes to study the log and prepare your route.
Yeah.
So that's something that could, like if you could have done that, right? So if you could have gotten the hammer earlier and Galaxy Brain that would have been like a 5-minute time save. But in this case, yeah, that didn't pan out. Randomizer giveth and randomizer taketh away, I suppose.
As it always does. Both runners in Thieves Town. Very straightforward dungeon.
For what it's worth, if you could have sequence broken Aga 2 or Aga 1 that way, that would have been like the coolest like Aga 2 skip I would have seen in the spoiler tournament.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Zelga starting his scripted fight with Blind.
But on the other hand, though, if you would have had access to the hammer, then you'd have had Darkhold access and you wouldn't have had to do Aga either.
Right.
So, you gonna go for the chest money? Yeah, and I'll confirm there was nothing at the potion shop. It's kind of like one of those scenarios, right? So if you had like more than 15 minutes to study the log, that's probably something you would have caught. Like if we had like a longer format where maybe you got like at the beginning of the week, we gave you the spoiler log, or at the beginning of the tournament, we gave you the logs for like all 7 of them. I don't know. I'm thinking for next year. There's our fire rod. That's a pretty nice place to have it.
Yeah, very convenient.
That's like...
ChristosOwen beginning his scripted blind fight. While Zelgadissan continues to head towards Mothula. Bearing in mind that while Zelga does appear to be ahead, they are a desert palace behind Christos right now.
Yeah, that's... I guess depending on where the flute is at, like if the flute's nowhere really to be found early on, which is very possible, like that could be in GT, right?
Right.
If that's the case on Zelga's side, they're gonna have to go through the entrance of desert at some point anyway, and do that the long way. Alright, out of magic. But yeah, we good. Yep, so Zelda picking up crystal number 4. The numpty is on his way to pick up crystal number 5.
Alright, Zelga's done with Skull Woods. We'll see where he heads off to now. Has to mirror in order to save and quit. Because of Agra 1 being dead.
Alright, what is Zelga's next play? Ice?
This looks like the Ice Palace play.
Makes sense. Alright, so both our runners have I have the fire rod now. Zelga's gonna work their way through Ice Palace. Has Samaria is gonna probably break the ice on this one, so to speak. So far, like, it feels like even with the difference between Zelda right now with not having desert done, I kind of want to give the advantage right now to Zelda. Just barely.
Yeah. Wow, that was fast.
That was a blink and you missed it icebreaker. So how that works is something with something Samaria something door state extension something passing through a 16 pixel barrier.
ChristosOwen beginning his Mothula fight.
Alright. Mothula kind of getting away a little bit there. Get out of those spikes.
Oh my goodness, with the wow. Okay.
Oh, Chris, my heart. All right,
There's the
okay,
flute.
there's our flute. Flute. All right. I'd still call that a little buried. Here's the thing, though. Chris may opt to skip that flute completely. I don't know. If he grabs it, I don't think that he'll probably spend the time to activate it. He doesn't really need it.
Right. I don't think he's going back to Kakuku Village ever.
I mean, unless, like, we still don't know where Ice Rod is at. So we could end up in a situation where we need it. We need flute to get the Ice Rod. Like it's in, like, the mire area, but... has Chris picked up bombos?
No, I don't think he did.
Okay. Alright.
Zelgadissan finishes off Ice Palace as ChristosOwen enters Ice Palace.
I have a feeling that Chris might grab that. Yeah, he has a way to route that in easily. Flute's not activated yet. But he did have to. He still had to, like, mirror out, right, before saving.
Right.
Or else he'd be on the pyramid, and you don't want that. Yeah, chat point now. I think Zelda just wanted to make sure it worked. before actually leaving, in case you need to go back into Ice Palace to get like a refund from the iced tea room chest. I mean,
Okay, now the flute works.
Chris is going for it too.
And yeah, there's the
Alright.
ice rod and Mire shed, so yeah, the flute is required here.
And more. Alright, so this is kind of be the difference, right? So Zelda is going to have to spend the time here in desert. Uh-oh. Chris is kind of in a pickle right now. Does not have enough magic to actually complete the dungeon.
Uh-oh.
That's a problem. I think there might be some magic. Alright, so he's gonna steal a key to go into. Alright, so he's gonna steal a key. So go into this room. And there's gonna be magic decanters in kind of like the side room here.
Right. There we go.
Yeah, now he's good to go.
Zelgadissan takes down that Molar Super Kirk with the fire rod.
Alright.
Careful.
Cure!
Oh, yeah, it does have the potion. Oh my goodness.
Goldster, please!
Just... oh my goodness! Okay.
Oh, we got... Yeah, there we go. Alright.
That was a rough fight. Dang.
So, right now, I'd say Zelda has a pretty decisive lead right now. I would probably gander.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it isn't over yet, but, you know, for Amy and Gerdo, if you're listening right now, you might need to schedule a race off. Might. We will see here in just a minute.
Zelgadissan opened up Turtle Rock, but it's making a pit stop to Hookshot Cave.
Yeah. Paying attention knows. Yeah, Tempered Sword, that's gonna be a good grab. It's not... Alright, not just grabbing some health. Alright, so Chris is gonna have to grab his ice rod, and then he'll be able to go up the mountain.
go up the mountain, but also has to grab Bombos and Spectacle Rock Cave. So he's 2 items behind right now.
He'll just take the slightly slower route of mirroring. At that point, maybe. No, that's not it. Chris. Alright, so Zelda is working his way through Desert or Turtle Rock right now, not Desert Palace. That was earlier. And is now gonna go grab the actual medallion that he needs. Maybe. Yeah, don't forget. I'm not reminding him at all. There's like a delay that's happening, so don't worry about that. There's like a 30-second or so delay.
Right.
Between the commentary and what you're seeing, so. There we go. Zelga's like, why did I spend time on that? I have a race to win.
ChristosOwen does that bomb jump very nicely.
That is like one of my favorite bomb jumps. Like I really enjoy doing that one. I don't know why. Kind of like it's like, so how it works, right? Is you end up when you bomb yourself, you end up like surfing up against like the side of the wall, and that keeps you from falling. Basically, is like my understanding of it.
Right.
Which is why like you're able to jump way further than a normal bomb jump would take you. See, I have a setup where I actually hold the bomb over my head. I didn't see which setup Chris did. Like some people, they'll just like turn around and like just do it like a normal bomb jump, and some others will Batman it, so to speak.
To answer the chat,
you hold it over your head. So go ahead.
To answer the chat, yes, the runners were given the spoiler log for 15 minutes. It lists all 216 locations, so they had to go through and in 15 minutes figure out what the items they needed were and figure out a route to get those items as quickly as possible. It is a lot harder than it sounds in 15 minutes. Christos gets his tempered sword, and Zelgadissan is almost to the end of Turtle Rock.
Small key. Zelda is going to go ahead and fight Trinex. This boss has the last crystal that Zelda needs. Beautiful. And then one well-placed spin. And down goes Trinex.
And with that, we're going to do our GT Big Key guessing game modified for spoiler. In the chat, get your guesses as to which room the big key is going to be in.
The big key is in our hearts. That's where
No numbers, because the runners know where the big key is. So, better off just doing room guesses.
Yeah, like I see it 12 there in chat. We're not opening 12 chests.
Yeah, we're not.
Unless like Zelda like goes for silvers, but I don't know where silvers are at. They're probably in our hearts as well. I mean, unless like silvers is like along the route to the big key, I don't think Zelda's gonna go for it. It's gonna save like about 30 seconds to a minute on Ganon. So Zelda is gonna have to then make that decision of, well, is the time investment grabbing the silvers gonna be worthwhile? And that's assuming silvers could easily be they could be in Misery Mire. Like, we don't know exactly where those are at. At least I don't.
Right. I do know where they're at.
Okay. Well.
And I mean, there's not much suspense about it. They're not in GT.
Okay, they're not in GT. All right. Well, then in that case, yeah, we're not seeing them. Yeah, there's no. Yeah, the key is not in Rando Room. We're gonna be skipping those 4 chests. So he said, Jay Cooper says in chat, oh, you know what would be a great safety powder? Yeah, probably. But the die was already cast on that one.
Big key was in Bob's chest. Zelda, you don't have a small key, unless there's a small key up at the top, which I don't know actually. There we go. Christos starts his Trinex fight.
Chris finds his 7th crystal and is now going to be able to make his way up to GT as well.
Zelgadissan is just annihilating this gauntlet.
New tempered sword, man. It's the best. Also I'll just say that, like, it's really nice when these get favorable enemy RNG movement in Gauntlet. Like,
Definitely.
Gauntlet could be... It's like, I've personally had, like, a few Gauntlets that, like, just everything is kind of connected. And it's a pretty great feeling. The problem is that sometimes it just doesn't happen. Does Zelda have any type of magic or anything, or
like a magic refill? No. I think he just has the red potion. That's it.
Okay, so it's probably gonna have to do lamp strats. Isn't gonna be able to use the fire rod for the torch room up ahead.
Should be all right. Chris is going to be making his way to the fire snake room. There we go. He's definitely going to have to take this full magic decanter here.
And there's the signal that the doors are fine.
We got our we have a key there. That's good.
Moldorm goes down with barely a wriggle. And as ChristosOwen starts the gauntlet, Zelgadissan gets to the end of it.
Double. A single.
Almost got the triple.
Feels bad, man. Still some pretty good Agatu RNG.
Eek! ChristosOwen only has one heart. Wow, okay.
Doing dances with spikes. I heard that's an upcoming movie.
Gonna make a pit stop to get some fairies.
Yeah, good call.
And Zelda begins his Ganon fight.
And Zelda is one Ganon fight away from securing a spot in the top 8 of this tournament and forcing a race off between Gerdo and Faraimi. We just have literally one Ganon left.
And dead.
RNG manipulation. That is the reason for dying on Ganon. It's not because he messed up or anything like that or needed a refill. It's RNG manipulation. There we go. Is now in phase 2.
Nice.
I think the RNG manipulation strat may have backfired.
Lots of teleporting going on.
Chris working his way through Wizrobe 1 and Wizrobe 2. Fortunately, gonna have a full magic bar for Ganon. Is gonna have to do some silverless strats here.
So the silver arrows were in Swamp Palace. They were in the big chest, and the big key was on left side swamp.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
That's even worse than left side swamp. But which is lame. Zelda getting all the triples in, that's good. Only just a few spins away from claiming victory here.
Dang.
And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Zelgadissan has finished this race here. He's going to cross the bridge, and he's going to finish with an SRL time of 1:14:39. That's a 59:38 after the study period. Zelda will definitely call that a success.
Zelda getting all the triples in, that's good. Only just a few spins away from claiming victory here. And there.
And we are joined by Zelgadissan, GG.
Hey, GG's. Thank you very much.
So you're in the top 8.
Man, it's been a struggle. I've made some mistakes in a lot of my races, including this one. So I'm happy to make it, but it's scary.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. So also, you just created more content for us because Faraime and Gerdo are going to have to face off each other now as well.
Yeah, you gotta love tiebreak races, man. Always going to be fun.
Yeah. I didn't even actually like. I knew that it was like a possibility, but I thought it was fairly remote that we could run into a tie for 8th. But I should have known better. Like if somebody's if that's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If it's possible, somebody's gonna do it. So yeah, congratulations, sir. It was well earned. Like you had some pretty tough opponents making your way through these 7 weeks of Swiss.
Yeah, I did. I feel like there were some people that had harder runs. Shady Force and Hydropower come to mind as getting absolutely demolished by their scheduling, but I definitely feel like this was earned. Both of my losses were against very strong opponents, and I will be facing one of them again in the brackets, so I can look forward to getting dumpstered again. Good times.
I think we're kind of locked up on Chris's side here. His internet like quit out on him. It looks like. Oh noes. Like yeah, he just he got disconnected from SRL.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I mean, I guess I'm glad it happened after it was kind of already decided if it's going to happen, but that's always unfortunate.
Indeed. I know that we've had to reschedule this race a couple times because of net issues, so I'm glad we were actually able to get this race in. We were able to show it off because it was a pretty fun race. Can I ask you about your attempt at sequence break Aga 1? I know you mentioned something about it in chat, but I thought I'd let you expand upon that just a wee little bit.
Sure. So as I was going through, I did notice it was an Agaseed, and I noticed that there was a glove. So then I was like, okay, well, where's powder? Oh, it's right next to the hammer. Okay, well, where's Samaria? That's required anyway. Oh, it's Light World. Where's the mushroom? Oh, it's Light World. I could just sequence break around this whole thing. Like, it'll be a bit of a time loss going all the way to Zelda Cell, but we'll be fine. And then I realize, like, I pick up the mushroom and I head towards Magic Bat, and as I get there, I'm like, I'm gonna need to switch to the hammer. Oh yeah, I don't have a hammer. The 15 minutes is so stressful. Sometimes little things like that, especially when you're doing things that aren't even in logic, can really get away from you. And this was a really good example of me just not fully paying attention while trying to route everything else in as well.
And that's fair. For what it's worth, it would have been a pretty awesome way of avoiding Aga 1. I think even if it's even possible to do it that way, because like if you would have had hammer, you wouldn't have needed to. Yeah, well, never mind. Yeah, so Chris is saying can't get back into IRC to dot done. We'll try Mibit. All right. So Chris was able to finish the race. Is trying to get into SRL right now to actually done. But I will say for everybody out there, he has finished. Okay, so we went over the AGA 1 non-sequence break. What else do we want to talk about here? It's a pretty late Dark World access as well, just in general. For a spoiler race, like you had to do a whole lot of running around and collecting stuff before you could get what you needed.
Yeah, it was kind of a big long chain where you had to go up the mountain, leave the mountain, go up the mountain. This would have been really rough to play without spoiler logs, which I feel like I say that almost every single week. That like I would absolutely hate to play this without spoiler logs. But yeah, this is one of those where you look at the log and you kind of plan it out and you start thinking about what all is actually involved, and we'll take it.
And yeah, Chris is officially done in SRL. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get an interview. If he's marked as done, I'll see if we can get him in here if his internet's behaving again. But yeah, spoiler races are kind of always like, well, I mean, how many times have you racing the ladder and lazy kids giving you a seed that you thought was just absolutely miserable, right?
Oh yeah, that's a daily occurrence for everyone doing ladder. We all know.
Exactly, right? So if you're doing spoiler races, it's like the same thing, except like you're able to figure like you don't have to deal with it. Like you just gotta work with what you're given. Yeah. I'm trying to like think of anything else here. I guess I got to go ping Faraimi and Gerdo and tell them to go schedule a match, I guess. Well, I'll get the sheet updated here for round 7. We'll get you in there, and then that's it. 7 weeks of Swiss is finished.
Awesome. It's been a great time.
Oh yeah, like it's mostly like most of the work is like in the beginning, right? So like kind of once things got off the ground, it wasn't too bad. So I'm gonna go through like so we're at the end of Swiss right now. We got all the results. So I figure like maybe until we can get Chris in here. I don't know if he's gonna join us for an interview or not, but I will say that our top 7 players, the first 7 places is Keong 92, which I don't think anybody was like doubting would make the bracket. Like he was like the favorite. He's like the favorite of this tournament. Gets a record of 7-0. Did you end up playing? You didn't play Keong, right? No, you just played a bunch of others.
No, I played Aussie and Airy and lost to both.
Yeah. So you have Keong and then Aussie and Airy, 2nd and 3rd. 4th place was Relkin overall. 5th was Pika Pals. 6th was you, Zelga. 7th is Freddy, and then 8th place is tied for Faraimi and Gerdo. So we're gonna have to figure out that, and then after that it's Sailor Nep, Salty Fry, Tam 216, Dante, Ack. Those round out our 5-2s, and then when we go into 4-3s, Ack the Boker, Cadenza, ChristosOwen, Kern, Hydropower, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna, Orange, Shady Force. The list just goes on. If you hit ! spoiler in chat, that should have a link to the spreadsheet that we've been using to track the Swiss stage. And we'll have all 64 runners and their placement in this tournament just listed there. Let me see what the status of Chris is.
Yeah, he won't be able to join us for interview because his internet's going to be bugging out.
Oh, is that what it's sounding like here?
Yeah, that's what he
Okay.
said a little bit earlier.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna have to skip the interview here. We can kind of go through. Let me read what was being. Yeah, it's like So Chris was also talking about getting baited hard by the fake powder play as well. So Chris ended up double dipping. Went back into Hyrule Castle. So Zelda, you did that in one shot, right? Like you took care of everything in that area at once.
Yeah, I got Uncle and then just went straight to the mushroom and Zelda Cell at that point because I was so convinced, fake powder is going to be the play, and it so very wasn't. I mean, in some ways, it did actually save. It wasn't a total time loss because all the keys in Pod, all 6 keys were up front. So if you wanted to go to Harmless Hellway, you had to go to the bow side. So it did at least save a little bit of time there to get, as opposed to having to get a key for powder. But certainly it would have been a lot faster than doing Zelda Cell.
So Chris is also mentioning that he had heartbeat turned off on his ROM. So he said he almost nearly died a couple times because he didn't realize he was low on health. Because normally Chris plays double heart speed, but I guess not today. By the way, double heart speed is the best way. If I was the god of Rando or the king of Rando, I would just make double heart speed mandatory and take all the other options off the site. But that'd be me. Let's see here. Ricky, is there anything else that Chris is saying in SRL right now that we want to kind of forward?
He's commenting that he had miswrote that the Book of Medora was in Paradox Cave instead of Hera, and so he was all confused as to how he was supposed to get into Paradox Cave, but figured that out.
Oh.
Yeah, because that routing with them having to go into Hera to go get the hook shot down in Desert, and then go back up to Paradox Cave was quite the chain to figure out in 15 minutes or less.
Yeah, one thing to stress is that 15 minutes sounds like so much time until you're actually the one trying to route in 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything is just so hard to try and figure out. It's one of those things that the people that run it kind of understand, but sometimes a viewer might pop in and not realize, oh, it's a spoiler log. Obviously, this is easy. It is very not easy to try and figure everything out.
No, it's not.
All right, so what I'll say is that it's easy. So a spoiler log run is easy when you're not up against the clock. If it's
right,
yeah, you know where everything's at, right? But then once you throw that clock element into it, it becomes a whole nother animal. It's not even the same thing. You say that's pretty fair, Zelda?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's the difference.
Yep. It's a noticeable difference in this tournament even because I know the first time we did this we had open qualifiers where you get the seed and you had a few weeks to kind of practice it and go over the spoiler. It's very different with 15 minutes.
I'm thinking I'm not sure if this will be a thing for next year or what, but Kern was talking about maybe doing more of a slower type format where at the beginning of the round we just release the beginning of the tournament we just release all the seeds to everybody, Like, here are the 7 that you're going to have to play. And then that's it. Or you get like your seeds at the beginning of the week. Those get rolled and you get the logs, and then you get a lot more than 15 minutes to study it. But
Right. Yeah,
but the
I
time
think
investment, right? So the problem with that format, though, is that now you're all of a sudden feeling like you have to practice it a lot. Like Keong, like he practiced like each one of the qualifiers. I think he said about 5 times each before actually like running them for on the record. So it feels like you might get thrown in that type of situation, and for some people who don't have a whole lot of time, that's kind of bad.
yeah, totally. The Z2R community is doing like a routing royale, which I think is using that same format you're describing.
Yeah, like there's merits to that format, and it's just there's just more time involved in it.
All right, I'm gonna have to hop off here so I can get my workday started. This is a little early for me, but thank you guys for having the commentary, the restream, the tracking. I really do appreciate that we were able to get this race on, and that it was so awesome to it had a lot of meaningful result to the tournament. So thanks for having us, and I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. Good luck in the bracket.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, and with that concludes the 7 weeks of Swiss. Keep your eyes peeled on the schedule for a race-off between Faraimi and Gerdo. That is still TBD. But the results of that race will determine who our 8th player is and what our bracket's going to look like. I think that's all I have to say for now.
All right. And with that, then, I want to thank everyone for watching, especially at this early hour. Thank you, Cynic, for helping me with the commentary, and thank you to the runners for the awesome race. If you want to follow them, I'm putting their links in the chat right now. I hope you all had a great time watching, and have a great rest of your day. Bye!
Bye.